Hey everyone, I wanted to give you guys a little update of what's going on, and today I'm going to do it a little differently than I usually do because I feel like after all this time of going through all this, it's important that I, put this in a form that is important and means something to me. So I'm going to kind of put this in the form of a prayer, sort of a conversation with God in a way about what's gone on in my life over the last couple of years, and just sort of share how I'm feeling. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going in for my biopsy surgery on Thursday, and any prayers that anyone can offer up in hopes that the biopsy comes back negative is welcomed for sure. I am confident that it will be negative. I don't feel like it's, that I didn't do anything right this time, but you just never know. Life is just kind of like that sometimes. So I just wanted to share this little conversation with God with you all, because I feel like sometimes people don't realize what a person goes through emotionally. And hopefully you'll kind of see in this little conversation, just how much this is like eating away at my life, at my person, like my soul, how everything I've gone through has just chiseled away at my positive beliefs and everything else. So it's been a really hard battle, because it's not just a physical battle, it's an emotional battle. And I think people tend to forget that. So I wanted to share a little bit about what's going on and sort of fill people in on that. So here goes. All right, Lord, here we are. We're sitting here. I have surgery in 4 days, and I know in my heart I'm cured. I know it. I know this is it. This is a finished product. Even though I feel like every doctor that I talk to just doesn't want to listen to me. There's so few that have taken that interest and said, I'm going to help you. I was lucky enough to find a doctor, a regular doctor, who listens to me, and believes that I have issues and encourages me to find answers. I'm glad I found an oncologist who's willing to sit there and say, let's give it one more shot, and hopefully this one will be the one, and we can get you pregnant after that. And also having a doctor, who, believes that he can help me. And that's, I think, a huge, relief off of me, because most cancer doctors are like, forget it, get it out of there, be done. I've sadly, God, I've been on so many websites with so many women who, I'm a member of several of them now, and most of those women had the surgery. They didn't even try. And it breaks my heart to think that they didn't have a choice to try. That their doctors basically said, get the hysterectomy and be done. They didn't have a doctor who was willing to say to them, let's work with this, let's try and do these things to help you. So I thank you for bringing those people into my life who are willing to work with me. And, even though I wasn't happy with Dr. Culp's decision to do a biopsy, I understand why she did it, and I understand why they can't put the embryos back in at that point, even though it tore me up. It was just one more devastation for me. I understand why she did it, and I feel like she does want to help me. It's just sometimes it's so frustrating, to keep going through this process and to keep having the rug ripped out from under me every time I get so close. So here's some things. I've done everything I can do. Physically, emotionally, everything I can do as a person to make this happen. I have to release this into your hands at this point. I can't keep forcing myself to try 20 different things and never see results. At this point, I just have to turn it over and say, I'm done. You have to put your 2 cents in and help me and meet me halfway. If you've been trying to teach me patience, I'm pretty sure 9 years is pretty patient. And not to mention the 20 years prior to that waiting to find a husband. So I think I've shown a lot of patience. Even though at times I get frustrated and angry, I'm pretty sure I've shown that I can accept being patient. It's just been so stressful and hard watching everybody else get married and have kids. And for years, you just wait to get married. And then when you finally do get married, it's another wait to try and have a baby. Why? Why do I have to be the one that waits for everything? What is it you're trying to teach me? Because I don't think that teaching someone patience by torturing them is exactly the best way to go. Because I literally almost lost my mind trying to find a husband. I was so distraught and upset. It was taking away from who I was as a person. Now granted, I did finally find the perfect person. And I am so blessed that I have Kevin in my life. So I know that the wait is worth it. But at the same time, I think women have babies every day. What in the world are you trying to teach me and other women going through infertility? What is it you're trying to teach us? Because it's not a lesson I think people need to learn. I mean, unless you're going to do it to every woman. If every woman has to suffer infertility and every woman has to go through 2 years to have a baby, that'd be a different story. But when it's just this, 20-30% of the population that gets to go through this, what is so special about the 30% of us that we get to be the ones to have to deal with the frustration and the sadness and the brokenheartedness of never being able to be parents? I just don't think people understand the difficulty that we go through. And I just don't know what you're trying to teach us. Secondly, I feel like I've done everything physically. My husband and I have switched to an all-organic diet. We're not eating the junk that we used to eat before. I exercise like crazy. I go to the gym 3 times a week. I run in the mornings when I drop my husband off for work. I just don't know what else I can do physically. And I know the weight is an issue, but you know what? There's plenty of plus-size women out there having babies. So why is it me? Why am I the lucky one that gets cancer and the lucky one that gets to not have children? What is it about me that makes it so I have to be the one to suffer with that? I don't understand. And I know people say, well, it's not up to us to understand why you do the things you do, but I just think, how many things do you throw at one person before it gets to be too much? I mean, everything I've gone through in my life, I feel like has always been a battle. I've never been able to lose weight and be a thin person, ever. No matter how hard I try, I've never been able to do it. And that's with tons of exercise and eating healthy and everything I've ever done. I've never been thin, ever, in my adult life. Have I been at a healthy BMI? I've gotten close, but I've never been what they would consider a healthy BMI. That's why I'm like, thank God I don't live in England, because they would never do IVF for me in England. And because I'll never be under 30 BMI. I've never been there in my adult life. What makes you think I'll ever get there? So I'm glad I live in the United States, where people at least overlook the fact that, hey, maybe this person has some other things going on, but I just don't understand it. I don't understand what it is that makes me the one that gets to deal with that, the waiting and the, all this the suffering that I've gone through. And I know there's always people that suffer more than you. I know that. I look at the women on my cancer groups, and some of them had crazy uterine cancer that was ripping through their body faster than they knew, and I don't have that. I'm blessed to have a cancer that is contained and easy to heal. I mean, I understand that there's always somebody who has it worse off than you, but really? Why does everything have to be a battle? My husband says the same thing. He's like, first I'm born deaf, then I'm going to lose my vision, and and I understand. I know what he feels, because he's gone through the same kind of stuff I have. We both feel like everything in our lives has been a battle. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be so hard for every single part of your life. So I hope you take mercy on us and realize we've put the time in. We've done the work. We've done everything we can do as a couple to make this happen for us. All we're asking for is you to meet us. I mean, You know, let's get rid of this cancer. Let's get, let's get these babies on board and let's let them stick. Because I'm so tired of being on the losing end every single time. And yeah, I know I had blessings in my life. I don't overlook the fact that I'm, married to an incredible person and that I have good family around me all the time that takes care of me. My dad's still in my life at 81 years, Those are all positives. I realize that and I see them as blessings, and I do. But it's hard to think that you're a blessed person when the one thing you've always wanted your whole life is the one thing you can't have. And that's why it's been so hard for me, because other people can get it so easily. They don't even have to think about it. They have no concept of what it's like to have to try to have a child. And then there's this population of women who do. And I just don't realize, what it is you're trying to teach me. I've tried over the years to figure it out. People say, well, it happens in God's time. Well, I'm in my 40s, so God's time's running out. I'm not Elizabeth. I can't be having babies in my 60s. It just isn't going to happen. And we don't live in biblical times anymore. So, I won't even get to enjoy my children if I'm 60 years old. Come on. It's like, time is running out. I'm not a 27-year-old girl anymore. I'm 41 years old. I don't have this unlimited amount of time that people seem to think. And he's already made us wait 9 years. And there's so many women in my group who've waited even longer than me. So I'm like, some of them 14 years, 12 years. I've got women in the group that are in their late 40s still trying to have that first baby. I don't want to be that person. I want to enjoy my kids. And I don't want to be so old I can't enjoy them. And I'll admit, growing up, it made me so frustrated that my parents had me after, almost at 40. Because I kept thinking, are my parents going to be there for this? Are they going to make it to my graduation? Are they going to make it to these, things? And it was a worry I had all of my life. I don't want my kids to worry like that. I don't want my kids to think, God, my parents are so old. Are they going to make it to my graduation? Are they going to make it to see me get married? Because my mom didn't make it to my wedding. She was gone before I got married. She'll never see any of my children except from heaven. My children will never know her, other than what they knew, in my belief system, that they are in heaven with her now, but they'll never know her as a person on earth. My husband doesn't even know her as a person on earth. My husband's dad, he didn't make it. And Kevin wasn't that, he didn't have Kevin in his 40s. They were in their 30s, but still, it's hard. People don't realize that being a child of older parents there's always going to be that thought in the back of their mind, I hope I don't lose them before X. And I don't want my kids to worry about that. And sadly, that's the way it is in this world. That's what's going to happen for us, because I didn't fight when I was young, and I wish I had fought, and that I had gotten doctors to listen to me, that I was more demanding as a young person than I am now. Now I know what's wrong with me. Now I know there are things going on. God bless this acupuncturist that's come into my life, because she's helping me see things that I didn't even know were wrong with me. So I'm fighting, and I'm trying. So please, just meet us halfway. Give us this break. Get rid of this cancer, be done, so that we can move on and let those little beings stick. Because we're ready. We're ready. And don't let it take 5 months for you to get the freaking lining thick enough. Let's just, let's move this process along. Because I think at this point in our lives, we're running out of time. And I know people think there's all this time, but there isn't. My mom passed away at 67 years old. That's only 24 years older than I am right now. That's not a lot of time. And hopefully I live way beyond her. I'd like to be as old as my dad when I, older than my dad when I pass away. But, I don't want to be, looking at my kids and being like, I'm too tired to be a part of their lives because I'm 55 years old and I can't keep up with my teenagers. It's those things that I pray that I get healthier as I get older. Get the weight off, do things so that I can be a part of my kids' lives. And I want to be, energetic, happy parent. So please, take mercy on us. Give us the things in life that we've been praying for so long. Because Kevin and I have been just the two of us for a very long time. And we really want a child in our lives. And we want our own child. We've tried the route of adoption, and it is not a pleasant one. I really want my own baby that I can carry and have mine. I don't want the child to look around and be like, well, who are my real parents? And people can say, oh, adopted kids don't think like that. They do think like that. They're like, you raised me, but they're my real parent. They always see somebody else as the birth parent, as their real parent, and that person's going to somehow be miraculously different from the people that raised them. And they never are. They're never going to live up to what those kids see in their mind, but it's just, I don't want to deal with that. I mean, I've always thought I would adopt kids if I had to, but I don't want to deal with that. So please, give us this chance to be parents. So that's kind of my thoughts going into my surgery this week, and I'm hoping and praying, and I have faith that this is going to be it, and that this is going to be our chance. We've waited so long. I just can't see waiting any longer. It's like, let's just do this. Let's get this, move this on, and let's do this. So please pray for us. You know, keep it out there that we get the things in life that we need, because Kevin and I, we're ready, and we've been ready for a long time. So I think at this point in our lives, it just needs to happen. Thanks. And hopefully next week I have a good update for everyone. Of course, I won't know the results for the cancer for another 2 weeks after the surgery, so they don't tell me that until I don't know, the 20th, I think, is when I get my results back, so it'll be a while. That's just how it works. But you know, keep us in your prayers, and hopefully everything will go the way that we need it to. Not just we want it to, but we need it to.